morning. It's Leigh Richardson with the Brain Performance Center in your head. I am so excited to have a guest this morning that it's actually an interesting story. I had the privilege of hanging out at Laguna Beach over New Year's, and I was what a beautiful place, strolling the streets, looking at the ocean, and I see a store, Hemp Wellness, and I walk in. I walk in because my ears had been clogged and had been bothering me a little bit, so I'm like, I wonder if there's something that that could help me. So I walk in and I meet Pam Langsam. She's the CEO and founder of Hemp Wellness. And I start, I tell her my ears are clogged. Do you think she can help, that anything would help me? And she's like, well, I don't know. You want to try? And I thought, well, I appreciate that honesty. And I start talking, and I did try. I rubbed some salve on the back of my ears, and in talking with her, I learned so much. I learned how confused I was about CBD oil, and I think a lot of us are. And I think a lot of us have questions. So to join me this morning, the lucky lady in Laguna Beach, Pam, please join me.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you so much. I feel so honored to be on the show. I love sharing the power of CBD with people, and how amazing it is and how it can work as a daily supplement. I am the CEO of Hemp Wellness Shoppe. It's with a PPE on the end. I started my company about 7 years ago. I actually came from the cannabis space. I was making medicines for people with like cancer and other diseases, lots of pain, and we were making ingestible and also topical treatments. And I rolled into CBD when I was introduced to it about 7 years ago. I started formulating with the hemp plant, which is where CBD comes from. And I just had such amazing results from these plants and the formulas that we were making. And I just kind of jumped in with 2 feet. I started I've helped develop quite a few brands in the marketplace. I own a distribution company. That's how I got started. I started selling a lot of the products that I helped develop out into the marketplace because I really wanted people to have, the best products, best seed-to-sale products in the market, and that people could readily access and make it simple and easy for people. I opened this store last year, and that was my way to really get in front of people and start helping people like yourself.
Well, you said you started off and you said you've seen amazing results. Tell me more about that. Share some of that.
So what happened is that really just to share a little bit about, I wanted to take a little step back here because I think it's really important. A lot of people don't understand that CBD is one compound in the hemp plant that has about 113 different compounds in it, and this is hemp. I want to make sure everybody understands that it's not cannabis. They are completely 2 different plants. So with that being said, a lot of people are always kind of weary about taking CBD. Also, a lot of the products that are on the market aren't just CBD. CBD is one compound. There's only really a few products that are CBD only, which comes from an isolated compound that's put into those products. Most of the products, like the one you put on yourself, is a full spectrum product that actually has all 113 compounds, and including THC below 0.3%. With that being said, what does hemp really do for people? It gets rid of inflammation. Inflammation is what causes disease. So if a lot of people come into the shop and they're already in pain and they already have some stuff going on, this really works from the inside out, outside in. I always recommend to take either a tincture or a gel cap, depending on what you have going on, and then using a salve on the outside for pain to regulate that throughout the day. But it has helped people with fibromyalgia. And I want to also make this very clear. You're not allowed to make claims. But things that I share with people are things that I have personally experienced with people that I've helped. From anywhere from, you know, knee surgery to shoulder surgery. I love my story how I broke my arm and I used our staff and our teacher, and I didn't even have to get a cast because it healed so quickly. Um, but at the same time, it helps with Parkinson's, it helps with Alzheimer's, dementia. It also helps with chronic pain. But once again, it's because it gets rid of the inflammation naturally, which causes a lot of these issues to either arise or continue or get worse. And this is where taking a full spectrum hemp product can really help slow that down. But what I always recommend is use it as a preventative. Start taking it before you need it, because when you need it, it's almost, it's trying to put a Band-Aid on it now. Does that make any sense?
It makes total sense. And we talked a little bit about that the day in the store. You said it's as much preventative as it is anything else. And certainly as we all age, and it's an aging population, we're all concerned about, I'm very concerned about Alzheimer's and dementia because I've experienced it in my family and I've watched somebody die from it, and it is the most painful. It hurts. So if someone wanted to be preventative, does that start at 30? Does that start at 40? Does that start at 50? What's up?
I mean, for as far as I'm concerned, it starts at a young adult in their 20s. I would take a 15 milligram either gel pop or tincture once a day for the rest of my life if I had this in my 20s. And I would take it until most probably the day I died. I've been using these products for over 30 years. I've never sick. I never did a cold. My broken arm that I broke, about 6 months ago, it healed quickly. I never had any pain from it. It's amazing how this just helps with your daily health. It helps with anxiety. It helps with depression. It helps with sleep. It helps with so many other variables that go on that people suffer from. And I would start it in my 20s.
Well, it's interesting. When I was in your store and I was looking around, you have a lot of interesting products. But I picked up a collagen mask that had hemp in it, and it felt amazing on my face. So what was different about that mask than just a regular collagen mask I would pick up in a store?
Well, it had CBD in it. I mean, CBD, once again, inflammation. Our face, gets inflamed. That's why we got our circles underneath our eyes.
I got it all.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. But I love CBD on my face. I use CBD oil on my face every single day. I use CBD oil on my body. It just makes me feel yummy. My hashtag is feel yummy again, because that's what I really feel like it does for people with the mask. That also is just really refreshing and, helps with your face, with the wrinkles and inflammation. And also, my favorite thing is a CBD bath bomb.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. It's just, oh my gosh. If you take a CBD bath and you get out of there, you feel like your body feels like you're 25 again. It's so yummy.
It is so yummy. I actually have used that as well. And what I'm always amazed when I wake up the next morning is my skin feels so soft. And it just feels, to borrow your term, yummy. It feels really, really good,
Yeah, it does.
So I will have to tell you, I think one of the concerns that people have is the legality. If you take CBD across the state line, because it was interesting, I bought that mask and I thought, ooh, is it okay to take it to Texas? And I thought, oh, I'm just going to use it now. And I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it kind of helped me understand what the legalities are.
Okay, well, CBD or anything that's made from hemp is completely legal in all 50 states. You can drive across the state line, you can take it on airplanes. It just, what happens is that, obviously we're going through a lot of growth. In the end of 2018, January 2019, they made hemp legal again. It used to be illegal, like cannabis is still federally legal, and they made it legal in the Farm Act, and now we can have hemp products readily available to all of us. We can ship it in all 50 states, and you really shouldn't have a problem. I do tell people if they feel uncomfortable, take the label off.
You told
But
me
it is
that.
not, yep, but it is not illegal whatsoever. As long as there's below 0.3% THC, and this is one of the things I also shared with you that day. I tell everyone, don't just buy products off the internet. A lot of the products on Amazon, if it says it's 25,000 milligrams and it only costs $10 or $20, it's not real. It's to process this plant and make the distillate and the isolate powder to make these products is a very expensive process. So, with that being said, if you think you're going to buy a 25,000 milligram tincture online for $20, it's never going to happen. So, a lot of that's where the reason why I opened my store, the reason why 5 years ago I went on a campaign to make sure people, were buying seed to sale products. That means coming, from the farmer, planting the seeds, growing the hemp to the lab, processing either to distillate or isolate, and putting it into our products that we're putting on our bodies, our faces, and in our bodies. So I went on a campaign to make sure that that's what we were getting, because I knew a lot of the stuff out there wasn't what they were saying it was. So most products, on that note, have come with a COA, which is where, it's a certificate of authenticity, and needless to say, it ends up telling you, is there heavy metals in it? How much THC is in it? When were the plants grown? When were they processed? When was it put into this product? It gives you all those details, and those are on a little QR code on the side of your package that you buy, or on the website of where you're buying it. And make sure anything you buy or use has a QR code on it and comes with COA.
So if it doesn't have that code, then that means it's not operating at the same level of authorization, authentication.
Yeah, I mean, what happens is this is just the top companies are trying to make this an industry standard. Obviously, the FDA hasn't come in yet and given us standards, but we're trying to give standards above and beyond what we think the FDA would do.
And I think that's what's so badly needed because, people are looking for alternatives. People with arthritis, they've heard about, the pain. Oh, it could help you. But they're a little bit afraid. Well, how do I know that I'm buying the right stuff? How do I know that what I'm getting is really what will help me? And I think and that was really part of my motivation with this podcast, is to educate people and let them know that there are industry standards coming into place, and that if you take the time and you research, you can learn as much about your product as you want to.
Most definitely, yes, it is there. That's why I tell people, make sure whatever you buy comes with a COA.
To me, that's a huge, you're saying if it doesn't have that, it's a huge red flag. Are there other red flags?
No, I think if you're buying products that have the COA that's backing it up, all the way seed to sale, I think you're good to go. All of my products are seed to sale products. Everything that I put into my store, everything that I sell through my distribution company, they're all seed to sale products. And that's what I've focused on over the last 5 years. I, on my website at hempwellnessshop.com, which is actually down right now, so if anybody goes to it, it's down. It will be back up here in a week or so. But all of my products and everything in the store is seed to sale that has the COA with it. So just always ask, if you walk into a CBD store and somebody doesn't, and you ask for a COA or just have a QR code profile.
So when your website is back up, I can order products from your website?
Yes, you can. And I also give a discount if you subscribe. I give you 15% off every month and free shipping because this is a product you want to take every day. You don't want to miss. So once your body, what happens is we have a cannabinoid system, our endocannabinoid system that works with our cells, and this is how the hemp plant gets in to your body and works with your cells, works with your nervous system, and really can dial in to, helping your body level itself out where it needs to be leveled.
Well, obviously, I've missed that preventative starting at age 20, but I honestly believe it's never too late to start. Let's say start taking the gel caps. Are there changes that I might see? Would I feel different? Would my brain work differently?
It can. So it's going to depend. So I tell people if you're pretty healthy and you're going to take it as a daily supplement, I normally recommend 30 milligrams a day, 15 in the morning, 15 at night. Now, there's two different ways for it to go into your body. Obviously, a gel cap's going to go through your digestive system. I think, for me, that works because I have a lot of digestive problems in the sense that I sometimes, get stomach aches and I kind of get heartburn. I haven't since I started taking CBD regularly, which is nice, but it also helps for women. It helps with menopause, hot flashes. There's, I could go on about this.
Well, that's a great place to be that you could go on forever. One last question for you: if you're traveling international, are there any other laws that might apply?
Well, I have quite a few clients that do travel international. Um, I basically just tell people to take the label off. I know that sounds crazy. First and foremost, actually go to that country and see if it's legal or not. There's some countries, yep, it's legal, and there's some countries, nope, it's not. So, once again, education. And I always tell people, go online, check things out. There's so many projects out there that have been done. The Mayo Clinic has done stuff with hemp and cannabis. It's all readily available to you. Don't be afraid to stick your head out there, start asking questions. I went to a seminar the other day at my doctor's office. They were having an event and they were showing CBD with their patients. And I sat down in that audience and I was appalled by the education this doctor was sharing with his own patients because he didn't take the time to go do the research himself. I'm pretty sure most probably somebody handed it to him and he read it. And that to me is disturbing in the sense that it is available. It is online. So make sure you educate yourself. You can, I tell people if you have any questions, call me. You can call me at the shop. I gave you and your girlfriend, I give everyone my cell number because I'm like, call me, I'll help you. I want to make sure people understand this and navigate through the space and have a very good experience. But international, back to that question, I always say check with your country. I have a client, he travels frequently and he needs this. It really makes a difference in his life every single day. So he just takes the labels off.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You've been so informative, and just a little bit of time I chatted with you in your shop. I'm like, wow, there is a lot to know, and we don't know. And it's once you get a little bit of information, I feel like I'm in control, and that gives me the power to help myself. I appreciate it so much. One more time, tell people how they can contact you.
Okay, well, we are at the Hemp Wellness Shop in Laguna Beach, California. That's our first store. We are opening more stores across the country. We also can be found online at hempwellnessshop.com. That's a SHOPPE, like the French way, .com. And then you can, call the shop anytime, ask for me. My son Bryce is also amazing.
Yes, he is. I met him at the store. He is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, he's great. He can help you. And if I'm not available and you want to talk to me, you can ask them for my cell phone. They'll give it to you. I don't want to give my number over here, but I
No.
am available. You can call
Oh,
me anytime.
okay. Well, Pam, thank you again. I enjoyed having you. You've been a fantastic guest.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love sharing this. So coming back, I'll share. We can talk about something more specific next time.
Thank you.